Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Sunday the 21st of February 2021. Today is Stats Sunday, where we go through the stats from yesterday's game, which was the 0-0 draw at home to Wycombe Wanderers. And we're going to start off with this from infogoal.net. There you can see on match events, Wallace booked in the first half. Pretty much the only thing that happened in the first half. Then Hutchinson got booked, substitution got made. We made 4, they only made 2. So they seem to be pretty happy with what they were doing there, the manager. They got booking late on, trying to hold on to that draw. Okay, moving on. The lineups. What are the ratings for the players? So we have Mason Bennett 7.02. That's a bit strange. I don't see how they got to that. I thought he was one of our worst players out there. And they've given George Evans 5.92 and Wallace 5.92, which is the lowest of the start. That's a pretty weird one from infogoal.net today. Take a look down and see the subs. Billy Mitchell 5.87, and okay, don't really see how they've come to these ratings. I think they base it more on shots, on expected goals, chances, and expected goal chances stopped. So I don't see how they've done, what rating they've got there. Let's have a look at the Wycombe players' ratings. Yeah, less than ours. Okay. Let's take a look at the stats anyway. As you can see there, at the top, in the middle where it says FT, the expected goals from this website is 0.67 to Millwall, 0.62 to Wycombe Wanderers. Possession 56 to 44. Attempts on target 4 to 3. Attempts off target 6 to 3. Block shots 3 to 3. Goalkeeper saves 3 to 4. So we were having the better of it. Total passes, wow, 481 to 339, but for them 300 and only 168 completed. So we had 481 passes, 339 completed. They had 300 with only 168 completed. That's hard. That's less than half. Well, less than half. Just over half. The graphic looks a bit. It doesn't correlate to the one above. So they had just over half of their shots were, half of their passes were completed passes. That's shocking. That is. So we had 2 corners. They didn't have any corners either. So they weren't really attacking that much. 15 to 14 fouls, 2 to 2 offsides. Seems that we should have won that game. Maps. Let's have a look at the maps. So this is expected goals plotted out onto where they were taking on the pitch. As you can see, Wycombe had a very small. The smaller the dot, the smaller the chance that is of going in. So they really only had 1 decent chance and a few tiny chances from outside the area. Pretty similar to us. We had 1 decent chance, but a lot more tiny chances. Some mostly inside the area and a few outside the area. So didn't really create too many quality chances. Just the chances we had weren't all that. First half, there you can just see first half chances. First half chance for Wycombe, only those. Wow, okay. Second half, we had the better chance in the second half. They had more chances. That's kind of weird, because watching the game, I thought we played better in the second half. I don't remember that. Okay. Let's move on now. This is from Experimental 361. This is a graphical representation of the expected goals over the length of the time of the match. and they've actually got the expected goals a bit higher. They've got Millwall 1.2 to Wycombe 0.6. And as you can see in the first half, quite steady attacks and chances on goal from Millwall. Every time the blue line goes up is a chance on goal. And Wycombe didn't have their first shot till about, what was that, 26 minutes, 27 minutes? And then, as we see, they had one other shot in the first half. But coming out in the second half, maybe I missed that at the start of the second half. Maybe I missed that. Because they had a lot more chances in the second half, at the start of the second half. And then I think maybe they got told we get a bit sleepy coming out from the halftime break, and that maybe they should try a bit harder. But then when they don't really get anywhere, they just have, from what is that, like the 55th minute until the 80th minute, not a single shot by Wycombe, and then they have one, and then nothing till the end of the game. And quite similar for Millwall. We have a few chances after the second half, and then we have like 4 more shots after that. But big portions of the second half where we didn't have a chance on goal. It's a bit weird because watching the second half, I thought we were better in the second half, especially when the substitutions were made, which is on the 62nd minute. But that doesn't seem to be borne out by what I'm seeing here. So maybe there was something wrong with my eyeballs and my brain, because I don't remember it being like that. Let's move on now to this. This is whoscored.com. This is a website where the EFL get the stats to put together their teams of the weeks. If you've seen them on Twitter, this is the match report from Millwall 0, Wycombe 0, yesterday's game. Match summary: it says Millwall strengths: stole the ball often from the opposition, were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from long shot situations. Weaknesses: were poor at finishing. Yes, we were. We're aggressive. That is not. How is that a weakness? I keep saying that. They keep writing that, and I keep saying that. Being aggressive is not a weakness. Gave away a lot of free kicks around the box. Okay, styles: played with width, dominated possession. For Wycombe, it says strength: stole the ball often from the opposition, were poor at finishing, lost possession often. That were the weaknesses. And styles: favoured long shots, favoured long balls. You can see here, this website has it 13 chances for Millwall, 9 for Wycombe, and 10 of Millwall's from open play, 3 from set pieces, and for Wycombe it was 5 open play, 4 set piece. Going down here, you can see we were pretty much evenly going down both wings actually, and Wycombe were going down their right hand side. Yes. Moving on, let's move on to this. So yeah, most of our shots were from inside the box. Most of Wycombe's shots were from outside the box. Yeah, most of it was played in the middle. A third of the game was in the away. We couldn't switch. We couldn't link up the middle and the attacking third. There was a massive disjoint there. Couldn't transition from the middle to the attacking portion. It just wasn't happening. I don't know what happened. So player position, you can see here, this is average player position from what they did on the pitch and where they did it. So Smith basically up front with Jed Wallace, Malone there, Mason Bennett playing on the left wing just in front of Malone. That's probably where that massive gap was. If you look, Mason Bennett and Smith, there's a big gap between Bennett and Smith, and then Bennett and number 19, which I believe is Ryan Woods. So there you go. And also on the other side, there's a massive gap between Hutchinson, Romeo, and Ben Thompson. Whereas if you look on the Wycombe, they're pretty compact, pretty dense. And we couldn't. I don't know what was happening. Trying to play it from the middle to the wings, or play it down the wings. Yeah, I don't know. We were out. They packed the middle of the pitch, and that cut down on opportunities to get forward. I think that's what that was. Moving on, let's move on to this. This is, you see there again the timeline of the match. And you go down here. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So if you look at the badges, if you see the number by the badge, for Millwall is 6.82, or Wycombe is 6.93. According to this website, Wycombe players had a better rating than our players. So they're basically saying Wycombe were a better team. You would imagine because we did more attacking and Wycombe didn't concede, then you would say that they were better because they did their job defending and did it well, because we didn't score. So you would give them, and you can see they've given the man of the match player to the Tafazzoli, the central defender, and pretty much all of Wycombe's defensive players have got high 7 marks, and their attackers are quite low, which is similar to Millwall. So you can see there, Wycombe seem to have better player ratings because they did their defensive duties well, while we were attacking them constantly. We go down here, you can see, so Tafazzoli got man of the match. Who was the best player for Millwall then? According to this website, Scott Malone 7.6. The lowest, Jed Wallace 5.9. And Jed Wallace got a low mark on the other website as well, on Infogol. He didn't really stand out as being poor. I don't know why he's got that. But basically all the defense pretty good, as usual. It's just up front and in the middle. Ben Thompson got a low mark. Mason Bennett got a low mark, 6.2, which the other website gave him Mill's highest rating. So I don't know what's happened there. Let's look at total shots. Who had the shots? So pretty much most of the Millwall team had a shot or two. The only players who didn't have shots were Pearce, Evans, Woods, Biakowski, Mitchell, and Ferguson. Right, Smith had 3, Bennett had 2, Marlon had 2. So there you go. There you go. Possession, wow. 62.7% possession. Millwall, 37.3 for Wycombe. On a player-by-player basis, Hutchinson 9. Hutchinson had 9% of the possession of the game by himself. Wow. George Evans 6.7, Marlon 7.1. But you look in the middle, look, not doing anything in it. Thompson only 2.7. Bennett 3.7. Wallace had 5.9, which is the same as his score in the match. Smith only 2. Okay, yeah. Moving on, pass success percentage. This is pretty unusual for Millwall. 70% for the whole team, 55 for the whole of the Wycombe team. And the best is Marlon Romeo of 80. of the starting 11, but Ferguson with 90. That's probably because he only had 3 or 4 passes, but so of the starting 11, the players who had the most action. Marlon Romeo 80. Wood 78. Smith only 38. Okay. Bennett 52. That's not good for someone who's supposed to be linking midfield and attack. Not really an end man, just like a link man. Trying to link up with Smith. Not good at all. Okay, let's move on to dribbles. Who had the most dribbles? Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. Aerials 1. Pretty much even for each team, 46 to 44. Smith with 9. Wallace didn't have one aerial 1. Every Millwall player won an aerial except for Wallace and Ferguson. Okay. Hutchinson with 9 as well. So we won the aerials pretty much, I think. Okay, but the guy Tafazzoli got 12. You see why he's man of the match. Moving on to tackles. They actually had more tackles than us. 15 to 13. So Wallace didn't have a single tackle. Woods didn't have a single tackle. Okay. But Marlon with 2. I think Marlon's certainly upped his game with the spectre of Danny McLemara in on the subs bench waiting to take over from his place. Dispossessed 8 and 5. Who got dispossessed? So the entire midfield, because they were outmanned in midfield. It was pretty densely packed in the middle for Wycombe, which I just showed you on that other chart. But Bennett too as well. Okay. Woods and Thompson. So instead of playing this dopey 3-4-3, maybe you should play 3-5-2. Put another. I know we didn't really have. Maybe play Billy Mitchell in the middle as well. I told Mitchell and Woods to sit and Thompson to move forward. So you would have had another player in the middle there to counter Wycombe pack in the midfield. What do I know? Let's have a look at. So this is the player stats. It's basically most of the stuff that we've just seen on that website. This is also from whoscored.com. So most of the stuff I've just shown you on that graphic, but there's a few extra things I want to go through. So the rating. So highest rating players 7.55 Scott Malone, then Hutchinson, and then Evans. So contradicting the other website with Evans being placed high, but as we can see here, Jed Wallace 5.9. I don't know why that is. Because he didn't make a tackle. He didn't make any tackles. I don't know. He didn't make any tackles. He didn't win any aerials. So the thing with this is they don't tell you how many they had. So if Jed Wallace had 10 aerials and he didn't win 1, then that probably why he's ranked low down. But they don't tell you. They just tell you the final result. They don't say like, oh, 1 of 6, 1 of 5. They just say 1. So maybe he had a few aerials and he didn't win any. He had a few tackles, didn't win any. Maybe that's why he's got such a low rating there. I don't know. It just seems a bit. He didn't seem to have a really, really bad game. He does sometimes try too hard and end up losing the ball, and that goes against him. So touches. Who had the most touches? Sean Hutchinson. Yeah. The defense has a lot of touches because we don't play it in the middle of the park. We play it around the back and then kind of either hoof it or play it down the wings, and then they run down the wings with it. So you got Hutchinson 95 touches, Scott Malone 87, then a bit of a drop to Marlon Romeo 73. And then George Evans. I thought he played pretty well yesterday. Some really decent passes. Playing it around. Moving on to offense. So what do we want to look at here? Shots. So you can see on the other one we had the shots. Matt Smith had 3. 1 was on target. Shots OT is shots on target. So Mason Bennett 2 shots, 0 on target. So that's why his rating's low. Scott Malone 1-1. So key passes, I don't know what that is, but see, Scott Malone had 5 key passes. Shane Ferguson had 2 when he come on 84. He come on in the 84th minute, he had 2 key passes. Maybe he should have come on a bit earlier, maybe. Or maybe should have played him instead of Mason Bennett and put Malone up where Mason Bennett is. I don't know. I don't know. We've got a lot of injuries, so it's affecting things. Unscheduled touches. This is basically poor ball control, and yet again Ben Thompson at the top with 5 unscheduled touches. Mason Bennett with 3 and Marlon Romeo with 3 as well. Okay, basically the whole team had some. Did anyone not have any? Alex Pearce of the starters. Okay. Let's move on to defensive. What have we got on a defensive to look at? Block shots. Who had the block shots? Okay. Malone, Woods and Matt Smith. Okay. Who fouled the most? Woods, Ben Thompson. Okay. Jed Wallace had 2. Okay. Clearances. Who had the clearances? Alex Pearce 9. Jordan Hutchinson 3. Okay. Let's move on to the final one now. Pass accuracy. Yeah, we've seen that, haven't we? Yeah. So Shane Ferguson, how many actual passes did he have? 10. So he had 10 passes. 2 of them were key passes, and he had an accuracy of 90%. So 9 out of his 10 passes were accurate, 1 wasn't. 3 crosses, 3 accurate crosses, 1 long ball, which was not accurate. So the only pass that he had that wasn't accurate was a long ball. There's a big drop off to Marlon Romeo, 79.6 pass accuracy, 44 passes. Who had the most passes actually? Let's have a look. Sean Hutchinson, yeah, we have seen that, yeah. George Evans 54, 53. Okay. Here we go. This is probably why Jed Wallace is it's got such a low rating. He's had 5 crosses, which is the joint most with Scott Malone, but 0 accurate crosses. But I don't know. But then you look along and it says long balls, and it's got 5 long balls and 5 accurate long balls. So I really don't know how they've ranked Jed Wallace so low there. It's a bit of a puzzling one. So let's go through. Scott Malone 5 crosses, 3 accurate. Marlon Romeo 4 crosses, 1 accurate. Mason Bennett 3-0. Shane Ferguson 3 crosses, 3 accurate. When coming on the 84th minute. Maybe if we got on a bit earlier, we might have done something to win the game there. Maybe if he started with Matt Smith, it might have been better. Who knows? Ben Thompson 2 crosses, 0 accurate. Okay, so long balls. Let's have a look at the long balls. So 15-6. Bart Biakowski a bit better today, 9-5. So he actually kicked it long less than he has in previous games, even though Matt Smith is starting up front. So what sense does that make? Probably because they were playing too deep. So Wycombe only had 1 up front. So he couldn't really, because they were packing the midfield. It was a waste of time him just bombing it forward to Matt Smith when he's going to be surrounded by about 4 or 5 Wycombe players. So he's normally the number 1 long ball player, but in yesterday's game he was 5th overall. George Evans been number 1, 15 long balls, 6 accurate long balls. Jordan Hutchinson 14 long balls, 5 accurate long balls, and Alex Pearce 14 and 4. And Ryan Woods 11 and 8, 11 long balls, 8 accurate long balls. Okay, yeah, and we've seen there Jed Wallace 5 and 5. I don't know why Jed Wallace got such a low mark from this website. A bit strange that, but I don't know. It is what it is. Maybe there's something there that we're not seeing. They're normally pretty accurate, this website. So there we go. That's the story of Millwall 0, Wycombe 0. Thanks for watching. Bye.